Garza's 27, Andrade's 30. My point exactly. One of them is younger than me because I'm 28. He's a year younger, and the other guy just hit 30. You got 10 to 20 years with these guys, depending on when they want to retire. But we see people wrestle into their 50s, and with their style, they could wrestle to at least 43, 44, like AJ Styles. So you got a decade with at the least with these guys to make a lot of money off building them into superstars. Like you did Austin and Rock and Foley and everybody I just named except Rock. They were already in the business for years. So they were when like they was young blue chips. But let's look at some of the young people like the Cenas and the Lesners. Look at them when you got them young. You built almost 20 years of stardom with them two alone, not to mention the add on of Randy Orton and Batista. Guys, you built up from the early 20s to now. That's still going. Randy Orton's still going in his 40s. Cena's still going in his 40s, even though it's part time. Lesnar, even though it's part time. Batista was still drawing whenever he would come back. And then look at people like Shelton Benjamin that from that class. You got a lot of time out of these dudes when you built them while they're young. See, you got a couple years out of AJ Styles because you waited too long. You waited till he was 38 to bring him in the company. So he's only giving you what? He came in what year? 14? Was it no, 16, right? So he gave you 4 years and he'll probably retire 45, 46. So you got a 7-year run. Well, you could have got a 20-year run out of Styles. You could have brought him in 2002. Put him in OVW with Cena in them and had him come up. Or even during 2010, you would have had a decade of Styles and Cena putting on 5-star classics like they did at SummerSlam and in the other match they had. But start now. It might be too late for a Rollins or a Reigns to really give you a decade worth of stardom because they're a little older than these two I just named. They're 33, 34, and you already got us uninterested in them. It was a lot of promise at first when they came up with the Shield, but it seemed like when they disbanded, you didn't know what to do with these three dudes. Especially Ambrose in his shows because he's not with y'all right now. He's in AEW as under a whole nother name, more relevant than he's ever been as a single star. And it's the company's fault. It's WWE's fault. Nobody else's. It's Vince's fault. It's the writer's fault. It's only 25% the wrestlers because they could speak up. They could speak up. They could pull a Neville and walk out. They can do all type of things. But then when you think about it, it's like, what is it going to be for? They're going to get replaced. Like, do you guys really miss Pac in the WWE ring? Is WWE fans clamoring for Pac to come back, Neville to come back? No. They just replaced them with more high flyers like a Leo Rush or, Angel Garza. And they got people to replace them. They got a whole NXT UK now full of Nevilles. So, it's different back then and back in the day during the golden era and the attitude era where if you a big star, you a talent that people want to see and you mistreated, you walk. They fucked. They don't have nobody to replace you with. They can't go out and get nobody else. Because there's not that much talent then during that time. That's on that scale that got their radar, like a independent wrestler. Nowadays with social media, they just go on the internet and see some guy jumping off a second floor at a mall and they signing him right there. So it comes down to this. It's gonna take a while, maybe a decade or two, decade at the least, for WWE to really suffer from their booking in this past decade. But they're gonna feel it. You got 2 stars left from that Attitude Era that actually wants to still wrestle. Because Shawn ain't coming back. Austin definitely is not coming back. And The Rock, he's quietly retired. And honestly, no, he's not. He barely, before he was retired, he barely came back. He came back for what, 2 matches when he came back, 2-3 matches, and then left again up until his SmackDown appearance not too long ago. So he's not coming back. Then you got Mick Foley, definitely not coming back. Who else from that? That was the whole Attitude Era right there. Triple H, if he doesn't wrestle at this WrestleMania, you pretty much could say Triple H is if 100% executive now. He's not coming back. Road Dogg, nope. X-Pac, nope. Nash, Hall, nope. They're not coming back. They're not wrestling. They'll show up on TV, but they're not wrestling anymore. That's the Attitude Era. We already know the Golden Age era wrestlers not coming back because most of them are dead. And the ones that still are alive, they could barely walk, let alone get in the ring and wrestle. So then are you gonna count on ruthless aggression stars like who, Orton, Edge? They're already on TV right now. I mean, they don't draw eyes to the product. Who you gonna bring back? Billy Kidman? Who you gonna bring back? Mordecai? CM Punk, huh? People like Punk and Bryan? That's assuming if Punk even ever wants to wrestle for the WWE again. That's assuming if Bryan doesn't retire or get injured again and have to retire. Who are you going to rely on then? By that time, you didn't make any new stars, so you're assed out. And then we already know you guys probably are incapable of making a star. Like, they rush too much. Number one, when they trying to make a star, they rush into things too much. That's number one. So let's imagine them without any past legends to come draw money for them. They're going to rush to try to make a star, and it's going to be a catastrophe. You think they killed off Seth Rollins. You think they killed Becky Lynch. You think they killed Nakamura, Asuka fast. Just wait. It's going to bite them in the ass until to the point where USA is dropping them. Fox. The Saudis might not even want that shit in Saudi Arabia. And then what? Then the stock goes from $30 to $5, $4. Then what? Then Vince is going to either have to sell the company or they're going to have to, at worst, go out of business. But 10 years at the most, at the max, at minimum. Maybe even less than that. Maybe 5. Who knows? They'll be licking their wounds from their booking this past decade from 2010 to 2020. Because it's been shit. All the stars, Nexus, starting with Nexus. Solid Monster, one of my favorite podcasters that talk about wrestling, said that we started the decade with Bret Hart coming back to the company for the first time since 97 and squashing his beef with Shawn Michaels. We ended the decade with Lana, Lashley, and Rusev with a marriage angle where Liv Morgan debuted her new persona that people actually wanted to see. And it's just like, that just shows you just the decline in this company. And when this company declines, the sport declines because it was the only game in town for so long. For so long, they were the only company that was known for wrestling. I mean, you had TNA, but that was a train wreck of itself. And then once they got kicked off Spike TV, it was just WWE. You had Ring of Honor, but that was underground. That was independent. You had PWG, that was independent. Like, only the hardcore fans, the smart fans, the fans that actually wanted real wrestling knew about them companies. Mainstream America didn't know about ROH. They probably do now. They didn't know about these indie companies. They just knew WWE. And it started so high with a legend coming back in a real storyline for the first time since Montreal Screwjob, which was real. It was a real thing to where it was real beef played out on camera unexpectedly to squash it and then start a storyline with the owner that screwed him. And in the end, it was terrible because the match was terrible, but the storyline was pretty good. And we ended with a marriage angle where a lesbian came out and confessed that she was a lesbian with the lesbian that was being married right at the moment. Then the guy, her ex-husband, pops out the cake, and it's just like, this is a train wreck. Nobody cares. We didn't care from week one, so why do we care now? And that's how they ended. And people actually argue with me. Oh, they get a lot of views, so it must be high. Well, they ended it abruptly out of nowhere. There was no payoff to it. Rusev never got a comeuppance. Lashley never beat him more than once or nothing. Now we on to Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. Now Lana has nothing to do with Liv or Rusev because they knew we didn't give a fuck. It was a failure. It was terrible, and they took it. I wish they would have did that with Corbin and Reigns. But they ended it so fast. That just lets you know how much of a failure that was. But they started on such a high note, like up here. And they ended down there. And then guess what? Where do you go after that? You either go up or you go even more down. And I don't think they can go anymore. Anything under that will be just bankruptcy probably. So my advice to the people writing this show and the people in charge, Vince and all you catch, the Pritchards and the Heymans. Vince is now has XFL off the ground to where I've been seeing a lot of good reviews about it, right? The minute he starts focusing on that 100%, guess what? Write a good show. Pritchard, I know it's in you. Heyman, I definitely know it's in you. You just writing the show for Vince liking. Because you know Vince going to rip up anything good and rewrite it himself. So I get why, I get it. The minute he's, I've read reports that he hasn't been coming to tape-ins and all that. Like he's been more absent since the XFL. But the minute I'm talking about where he goes on 4 or 5 weeks without coming to a taping, write some good shows. Write some good shows. To the point where it forces him to come back. But guess what? When he comes back, then the XFL is going to go under. Then they're going to start getting bad. So make him choose what you want to do. Then maybe he'll realize, okay, I'm more interested in pro football because I can make more off that than wrestling. Then maybe he'll sell the company. Or maybe he'll just give Triple H a chairman position or somebody else who will do right by not only that company, but the business. That's my advice to y'all, not the fans. My advice to the fans. Give them one more chance. Give them this WrestleMania. If this WrestleMania is decent, keep watching. But if this is a catastrophe, and you've been watching since 2006, 7, or whenever it went PG, stop. That's the only way they're going to listen if you stop. If they get down to a 1 point on Raw and a 1 point on Raw and SmackDown, they'll listen. They'll change. The minute AEW beats Monday Night Raw or SmackDown in the ratings, they'll change. They'll definitely change. They'll have no choice because they've seen it before with Nitro. When Nitro kicked their ass for 83 weeks. They don't want another 83 weeks. 1 week feels like 41 to them probably. If they get their ass kicked in the ratings by AEW once, it'll feel half of 83 weeks. Trust me. But the more you watch and support them, as much as you complain, they're not going to give a shit. Because guess what? They know we going to keep watching. No matter how bad the product is. I mean, come on now. It got so bad they went on TV and told you how bad it was and promised a bunch of changes. And what happened? Nothing changed. They promised you no rematch clauses. 6 months later, people getting rematch clauses. No more authority. Oh, really? Could that be not only on TV, but off TV too, please? What else they promised you? New stars. Who the fuck was a new star? They brought up the NXT talent like who was it? Sullivan and EC3 and Lacey, Nikki Cross, and somebody else they brought up. And none of them got over. None of them. EC3 only been on TV 3 weeks. 3-4 weeks throughout his whole main roster time. Sullivan, where the fuck is he at? Last thing I heard about him, he was in a homosexual porn movie. Nikki Cross. Do I have to say more about Nikki Cross? I'm going to end this after Lacey Evans. This video after Lacey Evans. Because talking about Nikki Cross could be another 16, 17 minutes. But Lacey Evans, she nobody cared. You instantly gave her a title match. And nobody gave a fuck. I mean, she's beautiful. And she has some potential to be a star. Y'all just don't know how to book somebody like that has limited wrestling abilities. She's green in the ring. And she's scripted. Promo-wise. She seems like the type that you can't script. Like, that she has to come up with her own promos for it to be good. Because if you script, because you really don't understand a Army veteran from the South. And how do I know that? Because the way you're booking her right now. And you've been booking her. She spent the most of her first half on the main roster just making an entrance and turning around and walking back. And then when she finally wrestled, her first match was against Natalya. Her second match was a championship match. So you made her so unimportant that she's just like the rest of the call-ups that came up with her. So they promised us change already when it got real bad, and they changed nothing. So it has to get so bad to where not only is the attendance down to where they can't tarp nothing off to make it look full, to where they're in the 1 points, and they're not in the millions when it comes to their subscribers on their network. That's when they change. That's when they change. And they start seeing AEW is in the millions now. 1.2, 1.3, rivaling them. Get it to where AEW gets a 1.3, right? And Raw gets like a 1.5, 1.6. They'll change because then that's too close on their heels. So that's my advice to y'all, fans, and my advice to them, and just my whole take. Well, not my whole take, but some of my take in a 3-part series. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe, because I don't think I have 1 subscriber yet. And hit the bell, and I'll be making videos, at least 3 videos a week, because I don't want to do one every day and y'all get tired of me. And yeah, this is Benji Knows Wrestling. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. Even if y'all hate it, let me know y'all hate it. Thumbs down it. Don't just thumbs up if you hate it. If you don't like it, thumbs down. I don't care if I get thumbs down. I can get more thumbs down than thumbs up. I'll be happy because that means people are watching and people are disagreeing and people are agreeing, or, you know, we're having a conversation. That's the only way we're going to make this community better and come together as a community so we can make wrestling hot as a whole again. Not just in one company, but in every company. Because right now it's not hot. Nobody, it's not doing 5 points. It's not doing 6.0s or 7.0s or 8s like it did in the Attitude Era. It's not doing them type of numbers no more, ratings wise. Yeah, YouTube, okay, yeah, but that's free. It's nothing to watch a clip, 3-minute clip of a promo, or a 5-minute match, or follow them on a social media page to make you think that they're bigger than what they really are. They're not. They're not even half of what they was in the Ruthless Aggression Era. So just imagine how much they fell from the Golden Era in the Attitude Era. 25% of the Attitude Era, maybe 30% from the Golden Era. Just because they got more money don't mean shit. Okay, you got more money, but guess what? When you start losing the viewers to the point where USA don't want to renew your contract or Fox don't want to renew, now you don't have a TV deal to look richer. Now you don't have Saudi deal to look richer. Now your stock has dropped to where your investors are selling their shares off. Come on now. It's all a magic trick. That's all that is. TV deals and Saudi deals and overseas. It's just a magic trick. Smoke and mirrors. They are doing really bad. So yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend, thumbs down, thumbs up, hit the bell button, and I'll see you tomorrow. This is Benji Knows Wrestling. I'm Benjamin BJ Benji Lambert, and I'm signing out because I got work in the morning.